Hi and welcome to Outwell and to the Drummond 7 from our deluxe collection. This is a large family tent which is tunnel in design. It's a 3-zone tent, so we have a wet room at the front here, a large sealed living space on the inside and 3 bedrooms across the back which can sleep up to 7, all of which we will show you in detail shortly. First of all though, I just want to talk you through some of the features on the outside of the tent, and I'll start off with the fabric that we're using for the fly sheet here. So this is our Outex 5000. So what that is a high quality taffeta polyester material that has been fully PU coated on the inside. All of the seams have been fully taped as well, and this tent has a hydrostatic head of 5,000 millimeters, which means of course that it is completely waterproof even on really heavy rainy days. In terms of a frame, we have a steel frame from front to back on here, so certainly really solid and rigid in high wind conditions, and it's quite simple and easy to put together as well. We do have one colour-coded pole at the back to make it nice and easy to know which one goes where, and the rest are all identical, so it's actually really difficult to get it wrong. So in terms of stability, as I was saying there, with it being a steel frame, of course it is very solid and stable, but we add to that by using our innovative wind stabilizer system, which is what these Velcro tabs here are for. So I'll just show you how these work. When you're setting the tent up, we simply need to wrap these around the pole like this and then fasten into position like that. You'll find that there's one at the top and at the bottom of each pole all the way around the tent, and this is where we attach our guy lines, which are pre-attached. So then when you pull the guy lines out and peg them into the ground, that pulls all of the fly sheet against the frame of the tent, making the whole thing much more taut and therefore much more stable. So in terms of bad weather, you will be well covered in this tent, completely waterproof, and will stand up to pretty high winds. So the guy lines themselves, as I say there, they're all pre-attached, and you can see that they are our classic luminous guy lines, so you should be able to see these a little bit easier when it's a bit darker outside. They all have their own retainer, which is what this loop of Velcro here is for. So when you come to pack the tent down, we can wrap the guy lines up and just pop them in there, so the next time you come to use it, they're easily accessible. We are also utilising our aero-effective ventilation on this tent, so you can see all the way down this side here, we have this streamlined and sleek ventilation on here, and it's the same across the other side, and there is some panels across the back of the tent as well. So underneath these panels here, you will find that there's a mesh strip on the inside here to allow cool fresh air into the tent, which will of course reduce the amount of condensation within there. If it does get a little bit too chilly in the tent, then these are easy to remove. We simply just need to take the Velcro tabs down like this and press down on the sides, and you can do that all the way around if needs be. So that's our aero-effective ventilation. Around the front section of the tent, around the wet room area, we do have mud valances which run all the way around the outside, so that's just going to encourage rainwater to run down the fly sheet and away from the inside of that front area. The front area itself has a huge front door on here which does have windows on it. Obviously we've got it rolled away at the moment, but what I just want to highlight about this door is that there are a number of zippers on here, so depending on how you want the tent set up, you can actually bring the door open to either side of the front here, or perhaps in the middle, or as we have done here, open that up to kind of create a much more open fronted tent. Obviously the door itself is a really good size, so getting all of your kit in and out of the tent is really easy, and of course it makes it nice and accessible as well. This front area actually has a detachable ground sheet within here, so it is a waterproof ground sheet itself. It's got a hydrostatic head of 10,000 mil, and it's a very durable material. It's a double coated polyethylene which just toggles into position, which does mean that you don't necessarily need to have this in here if you don't want it. What we then have is a large dividing door. We have it again rolled open completely at the moment just to allow lots more light into the tent for you to be able to see on screen here, but the door itself is zipped away completely and there are large ventilation panels within that. What you can do of course though is bring it halfway across just like the front door, or of course you can zip it completely closed as well. So stepping back the way into the sealed area of the tent, one thing I want to highlight in here is just how much space there is. I'm quite tall at about 1.95 meters, and you can see I can stand up in here no problem whatsoever. We also have some large pieces of furniture in here with the tables and chairs and the kitchen unit across the front here, and it still feels very, very spacious indeed. A lot of that is to do with the fact that we have large windows all the way around the tent here, so that's going to allow lots of light into the tent. of course making it feel that bit more spacious. If you do want some privacy though, each excuse me, each window has its own curtain. So you can see again we have them rolled away and toggled at the moment. But if you want, you can take this out and bring it either halfway up for a little bit more privacy, or of course you can completely close it as well. And then while I'm here, I will just highlight to you the ventilation panels on the inside that we talked about from the outside. At the top of the tent, in the middle here, in a good central location, we have a lantern hanging point. So if you do have your table in here and you have a lantern or perhaps an electrical light in here, it's a great place to hang it. Then going either way from that point, we do have some cable tidies which will run down to where we have a cable entry point just like this one here. So you can see that this can be zipped open to allow us to bring our electrics into the tent without actually having to open this side door. So while I'm talking about the side door, I will just highlight that of course there is an entrance here as well as that front entrance as well here. And this particular door has a full mesh panel on there. So in terms of ventilation, you can roll up the outside door but have this zipped down to allow for great ventilation, but hopefully keep out those unwanted bugs. Now this area is actually a fully sealed area, so the ground sheet from that dividing wall to the back and side to side is fully sealed. You can see around the edges here that it does come up, so it's a bathtub style ground sheet. That's going to stop any drafts, things like dirt, dust and sand, and hopefully again keep out those unwanted bugs as well. Across the back of the tent is where the bedrooms are located, and as I mentioned earlier on, this tent can sleep up to 7 people across 3 different bedrooms. One thing I want to highlight here is the bedrooms actually come pre-attached, so when it comes to setting the tent up for the first time, these are actually already in place. That's a job that you don't need to worry about. We've done that for you. How we attach them to the tent is using our wave-shaped hanging point system, which obviously has a real nice style and look about it, but it is also functional as well, in that it takes any stress points off of the top seam of those bedrooms across there. Some other features then on here, we have some handy storage pockets on the outside of the bedrooms, and there are some more within the bedrooms as well. Each door has some ventilation. You can just see on this one here, there's a ventilation panel across the top, and it's the same on the other 2 as well. So inside the bedrooms, we do have some more storage pockets within here as well. And then just above these, what you will find is the large ventilation panel across the back, which does run the full length, which corresponds to outside panels on the fly sheet as well. Also, I just want to highlight that we have these dividing sheets in place at the moment, which creates the 3 bedrooms across the back. Of course, you can choose what setup you want across here. You can either zip this up the side here and roll this up to create a bigger bedroom on this side, or you can have it down and separate these 2 here, and it's the same across here. Or if you want, you can also have one large bedroom across the back here. So this bedroom configuration also features our universal inner, which is where we have this zip running down this side here. And we will just show you now how that works. So we have a couple of optional extras available for this tent, which would be the fleece carpet that you can see in the living area here, of course, just giving you that little bit more comfort underfoot. There is also then a footprint available to go underneath the tent, and that's going to protect the ground sheet on those wet and muddy days. So there you have it then. That's all of the features of our Drummond 7 from our deluxe collection. Thanks very much for watching.